Hey there, scholars. Welcome to another lesson in well-ordered language with me, Mr. Brace. Today we are going to look at lesson C about adjectives. We'll do a quick review and then kind of jump into analyzing, diagramming some sentences. So let's go ahead and review for a minute. So adjectives are part of speech that modify a noun or a pronoun. It answers the question, how many, whose, which one, or what kind.
An adjective is a part of speech used to describe or define the meaning of a noun or pronoun. It answers the question, how many, whose, which one, or what kind. It modifies a noun or pronoun. An adjective is a part of speech used to describe or define the meaning of a noun or pronoun. It answers the questions, how many, whose, which one, or what kind. It modifies a noun or pronoun.
Awesome. All right, so keep working on that song. It'll help you memorize what an adjective is. And then other review parts. A noun is a part of speech. It names a person, place, thing, quality, or an idea. A noun can be singular or plural. So that's what adjectives are modifying. Verbs are a part of speech that show action or a state of being. And then adverbs, which we learned about in our previous chapter, are a part of speech that modifies a verb, an adjective, or an adverb. It answers the question how, when, or where. And then we have principal elements, the parts of a sentence that are needed for a sentence to be completed. Those parts are subject and predicate. And then there are 8 parts of speech. These are classes of words that with the same kind of meaning and use. They are nouns, verb, adjectives, adverbs, prepositions, pronouns, conjunctions, and interjections. All right, let's do a little bit of warm-up. Right here, I have a list of words. And I want you to try to arrange the words in order to create a sentence. So give you a second to think. How might you write out a sentence with these words? A couple of hints. Only one of these words is capitalized. That means it has to start at the beginning. All right, so let's see if yours kind of matches mine. What I thought of was the bright boys tinkered. Earlier, the bright boys tinkered. That's the sentence I came up with. So come up with your own. All right, let's go ahead and look at some sentences. Let's practice analyzing and diagramming some sentences. So, a white seagull did not fly very high. A white seagull did not fly very high. So this is a sentence because it expresses a complete thought. It's a declarative sentence because it makes a statement. So this sentence is about a seagull. So I'm going to underline it. Let me undo that and do one clear underline. And then put a capital S above the top because it's my subject. And then the sentence tells us that the seagull did fly. So I'm going to double underline the predicate. Fly is my predicate, and it is a verb because it shows action. And then did is a helping verb. So those are the principal elements. because they're what's needed for a sentence to be completed. Then we can go through remember we go from the right side to the left as we analyze modifiers. So a white seagull did not fly very high. So high is telling me how the seagull did fly. So I'm going to come up. And then that is an adverb because it's describing a verb. Very is actually telling me about how high it flew. So it's actually describing this adverb. So I have an ADV. So I have an adverb describing another adverb. So very is not describing fly, it's describing high. All right, not is describing fly. It's telling me how the seagull did fly. It did not. So I'm going to put ADV again because it is an adverb. Oops, lost my triangle. There we go. All right, and then white. White is telling me what kind of seagull. It's describing the seagull to me. So it's an adjective. And then A is telling me which one. Also an adjective. And because white and A are describing the seagull together and they're on the same side, I can actually join those lines together. Okay, so let's go ahead and diagram this sentence. And this is going to be, when we went over adverbs, we talked about this, but we haven't practiced it much. So I'm glad we get to see this one. So first, I'm going to draw my baseline. Then I'm going to write my subject, seagull, and I'm going to pre-plan, and I know I have to add some modifiers to my subject, so I'm going to leave a little space and then draw my vertical line, and then my predicate, it did fly. Okay, now I can go through, and I'm going to go from the start of my sentence this time when I diagram, and I draw a diagonal line, and I write the letter A, and or the word A, and I'm going to capitalize it because it's the beginning of my sentence. And then draw another diagonal line, and then white. And those are my adjectives. My adverbs, I'm going to go through again. Did fly, not is describing it. And then here's where the tricky part. Very, it's not describing did fly, so I'm not going to put it yet. High, however, is describing how it did fly. All right, here's where I need to add the next adverb, very. I'm going to draw a little sideline and then another diagonal line. This is showing me that this adverb is describing the adverb high. Very. So your diagram is going to look like that, where you have this kind of little hinge right here, attaching it to what it's actually modifying. All right, so that's how you analyze and diagram that sentence. Let's go ahead and take a look at another one. This one says, then the green boat slowly sailed away. So this is a sentence because it expresses a complete thought. It's a declarative sentence because it makes a statement. This sentence is about the boat. So that's my subject. And what did the boat do? What does this sentence tell me about the boat? The boat sailed. So that is my predicate verb because sailed is a verb. All right, now I can go through and do my modifiers because these are my principal elements. There are no helping verbs, and a predicate verb doesn't need a linking verb. Okay, away. Away tells me where the boat sailed. So it is an adverb because it's answering the question where. It's also describing a verb, so that's another way for us to know. Okay, slowly, and I'm going to draw my line a little bit lower because, and you'll see why in a minute. Slowly goes to sailed. It tells me how it sailed. So it's an ADV for adverb. Okay. Next I go green. Green is describing the boat. It's telling me what color, what kind of boat is it. So ADJ for adjective. The is telling me about which boat it is, which one. So ADJ. And I can connect those lines because they're describing the same word. And then lastly, then. Then is telling me about sailed. It tells me when they sailed. Then they sailed. So because this is describing the same word as slowly, and it's coming from the same side, whereas away is coming from a different direction, it needed to be its own bracket, then I can attach to the slowly bracket. A, D, V. All right, that sentence has been analyzed. Let's go ahead and diagram it. So draw my baseline, and I have boat. I'm going to leave myself some room, draw a vertical line, and then sailed. Okay, now I can go do in my modifiers to my diagram. It's the boat and green boat. Now I can go and do my modifiers for my adverbs in order that they show up in the sentence. So then, so I put a capital T because it's at the beginning of my sentence. Slowly and away. All right, that sentence has been analyzed and diagrammed. Okay, so your job now is to go do lesson C in your workbook, page 58 and 59. So up here, you are going to analyze the following sentences, then diagram them in the space provided. Use a ruler to draw the lines. We did 2 of these together. A white seagull did not fly very high. So if you need to rewatch that one. And then we did the last one. Then the green boat slowly sailed away. So if you need to, again, rewind, pause the video. All right, and then you're going to do B and C on your own. 2 asks us, imagine these unlucky men in the boat and write a sentence with one descriptive adjective about fishermen. So you're going to come up with your own about fishermen using a descriptive adjective. Number 3, use the adjective below, or use the adjectives below. Fill in the blanks in the following sentences. So you have this kind of table, this key to make your choices. So you may want to make sure that your adjective that you're picking is making sense in the sentence. So beforehand, the blank girls shuffled past. A lot of these you can use the same, don't repeat a word that you used already. Make sure to use all the words in here. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blanks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 words. So you got lots to choose from. So don't repeat a word in those, but you're going to fill those out. And then 4 and 5 we've done before, so you can find the answers in your text at the beginning of the chapter or the back of the book in the glossary. What does an adjective modify? And then what questions do adjectives answer? It's also, we reviewed it at the beginning of this video, so if you need to rewind, you can do that too. All right, I'll see you next time.